This beach, out beyond all highways, on the farthest edge of Vancouver Island, the land of Maquina. Here meet two men, Bert Clayton, prospector, and David Frank, singer, carver, and grandfather extraordinary.
Holy crow, look what I did!
Let's begin in the rain, at the Indian village of Ahousaht. David Frank at home.
When I went to the doctor, well, he checked me up, looked at my heart, put something on my arm, start pumping away on it. Well, he looked at me. Well, Mr. Frank, he says, you've got a wonderful heart. You've got a heart of a man that's in his 30s. Well, that's fine, doctor. I said, well, you can live to be around 140. I says, no, that's too old.
There's something else too. You have not just the heart, there's something in there too that's young.
If you happen to meet a bear, animal. When I was a youngster, well, I was kind of kicked around, you see, because father died when I was only 5 years old, and mother died. And I'd be here and there. And I started to pick up things, and I learned a lot from that, you see, how to live. And I watched the other people, how they live. And I only had a grandmother there, you see, and an uncle. Oh, yes, I'm here.
What are these? They're all fiddles.
Now, here you are, boys. Here's one.
Thank you.
Here you are. Here. Eat it. Eat it. Now, see, you do that, fellas. Watch now. See, you take it like that. See? See? And shove it down in your mouth and start chewing at it. Stop eating.
200 years ago, the villages of the west coast of Vancouver Island held a population close to 50,000 people. The arrival of the white explorers almost obliterated the culture and lifestyle of the Indian. At Ahousaht, that style survives with pride, humor, and grace in people such as David Frank.
And I asked him, what is an organ for in a church? I says, what is it good for? What is a violin good for in a church? Why is a guitar in a church? I asked him that. Well, he didn't give me the answer. An elderly woman gave me the answer. And she says, it's just for the accompaniment of the music. Well, I had this one. It is the very same thing I had. Well, I said, that's what this is for. That's what this is for. I use this when I pray. And this is supposed to hand it down from the Almighty God, which has been handed down from generation to generation. That's the way I understand it. That's the way I start. Now, folks, I says, I took this thing, you see. See that bird there? See that bird there? Well, I shoot around like that. It's God's bird. Nobody is dared to use the name of that bird. The bird has got a name. Hayasin. I don't see anybody, nobody uses that name here on the coast all over up and down. The only time we use that word is when we pray to the Almighty God. Well, this fellow didn't give me no answer, but this lady answered my question, you see. Well, I told him, pretty soon you folks will be dancing in a church.
James Adams,
That's what he said.
David's close friend since childhood. Together they go gentle into that good night,
First thing in the morning,
traveling, lecturing, storytelling, with a fond escort of sons and daughters and a ready audience of grandchildren. Of all of David's stories, the run with James across the railway bridge is perhaps the most enjoyed.
Preaching, it was a narrow one, you see, and there was two other girls ahead of us, you see,
quite a way.
walking ahead of us. There's, I wonder what would happen, folks, if there's a train coming, because I seen this dress loss way over. Well, in about 10 seconds, and here comes, well, look back, and here was a train coming, and we couldn't go back, we had to keep running. And we got off this way, and the girls went the other way, on the other side of the track, real old track. Well, he turns back, saying, "Change." He says, "What? You better make a song about this track here." He motioned the track like it. I says, "James," I says, "we got a little song now." I says, "Oh, just listen," I says to him. All right. And I blew like a train in the first place. You know. Ooh. Then I used the Indian words. Oh, 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 oh. Let me run, let me run on the railroad track with my pants in my arms. Look,
The deserted village of Keltsmith, where David Frank was born 78 years ago. For Indian and for white, the years have brought changes. Speedboats, logging camps, mines, airplanes. But from Chief McQuinn's time to ours, this land of mists and mountains, stormy reefs and glassy seas remains an untouched paradise. Far inlet, which he has all to himself, lives Bert Clayton, prospector. At 88, Bert stands like a figure out of history. But the old-time picture is a real-time person.
I got on this sailing ship. I went with down on the waterfront, and I contacted the mate, Mr. Daniels. And the sailing ship was the Willie R. Hume. He's on the bank somewhere out of Portland now, I believe. Anyhow, I got on there as a cabin boy. Captain and his wife, Captain Wilson and his wife, were the skipper on the ship. She was a four-masted schooner. And that was when we took a cargo of lumber to San Pedro, California. 850,000 feet of lumber. Los Angeles those times, you know, was more or less a place for people to convalescent. You know, the sick cases going down there and getting rested up, you know. And when I run away from sailing ships, I wound up in Kamloops, you know, and I hiked up the road from Kamloops to North Thompson River up as far as Lewis Creek. From then on, I didn't work for anybody, but I made enough money panning to better than the wages I could get working. Run around with a gold pan and the cayuse to pack my stuff and the other one to ride. In fact, I like to get up early, you know. The earlier I get up, the better. If it's good daylight, I'll get up. And sometimes I don't wake up that soon. But I have got up here at 3 o'clock in the morning because I work, you know, quite a bit during the day, and I'd rest a little bit when it was hot. And then that makes it a better break for me. It doesn't get so hot. You can get lonely because your mind is forever working on different things. You get different ideas, you see. And religiously, to me, it's a religion in itself.
Living.
Yes. The very thought of living harmoniously amongst the animals in the woods and in the timber and the bush, why, that seems to give me a great sense of satisfaction. My work here, my way of thinking, is to try to produce something. If I'm capable here of producing a prospect that has the hopes of making a mine, okay, I'm doing something for other people that might make jobs for other people, might open up the country, might help things in many ways. I think it's a sort of a feeling that creating something, you see? That you're out here to try and develop something. Anything that I'd be doing that way would be something of trying to make something that other people might get some benefit of. I don't care what I get myself, but if I could create something that would, say, build a small community here, or make something worthwhile that would create employment, that's one of my big thoughts.
So often in our crowded cities, the old wait out their end in rented rooms or on park benches. Not Bert Clayton.
The first thing is clean up and see the water supply and cut wood, and then get out. Where we got to go now will probably be about 1,200 feet. Well, I'll tell you, I can't climb as fast as I used to. I used to go up that top camp here inside of 3/4 of an hour, right from the beach, up 2,400 feet, 2,500 feet, right from the beach here, in 3/4 of an hour. I've come down to that tram line, it's the foot of the tram line, in 20 minutes. And I can't do that anymore. Oh, my legs are as sound as a bell. But I think I'm breathing is what's bothering me. And I think what caused that is living in the woods and lighting a little fire, and you're breathing a certain amount of smoke. But if I'm packing, now I take my time, my breathing doesn't bother me hardly. I took that drill up last year up the hill, 2,200 feet, and good 56 pounds. So I got up to where I was working, and that didn't bother me. I can go up and down that hill and it don't bother me. But I don't like this bush, especially when it gets soaking wet.
Gone uphill, southeast, 1,200-foot elevation. Back tonight, 4 p.m., Bert. This note, perhaps the one slender clue the world would ever have if Bert were not to come back from his mountain.
Well, as soon as it got anyways dark, why, I'd make a little fire and heat a couple of rocks and put them on my back. I never carried a sleeping bag, nor a tent. That's out. Too much to pack. You got steel to pack. You got dynamite to pack. You got a little grub to pack. That's enough. But I always used to wear these old dryback pants and coats put out by pioneer people. They were good. And at nighttime, I'd put on my big Indian sweater. And I was as warm as a bug in a rug. I never seemed to ever catch a cold. As long as I had a couple of rocks at my back, right about your kidneys. Just make a little bit of a fire and heat the boulders. If the fire went out, worry about it. The rocks was hot, they'd keep you warm all night. Holy crow. She took her apart, boys. I had it one time, I guess, and gold was only $18 an ounce then, you know. I've had as much as $300 or $400, you know, put away, kept, you know, in a poke, that I could pay my way everywhere I went. This is a mouse trap, and I'm going to put some bait on it, raisins, like that, like that, like that. Mr. Mousey comes along there, he eats the raisins, he jumps onto this wheel here, and the wheel spins, and down Mousey goes into the water. The next Mousey comes along, he don't see no raisins until he gets down here. He jumps on the wheel, and down he goes. And the next mousey comes along, he does the same thing. And of course, they swim around and talk to one another, but there's no way out. I've got 24 this year so far.
Among the burned-out remains of a former home, Bert remembers his wife.
I thought a terrible lot of Bubby, my wife. We spent 28 years married life that I don't think there was a cross word ever spoken. And it's taught me a whole lot. Harmony. Think harmoniously. Think carefully. What you say to others that would hurt them. I don't crave, I don't crave riches and all that kind of stuff. I love living. I love the wilderness above all. And I think when I got away from the sailing ships and got up into the interior, that's when that started to build up in me. I love the wilderness. I think that what I've done must have been all for the good or something, because I don't think anybody could be more contented with his life than I've been. I'm very happy, happier than anyone knows, in a way. And I feel that if I had to do it all over again, I think I'd do the same thing.
Humor, curiosity, energy. These, for David Frank, as for Bert Clayton, have made old age not a disaster, but a gentle victory.
Oh, girls, hello, girls. I'm going to your grandma. Just going to fish there, that's all. Well, this is your grandmother, girls. Also, she was a very, very good woman. She gives a good example to a lot of ladies. So that was in 1924 when I got together with her. And Dad says that she was an early bird. She would be up 5 o'clock, start cooking 6 o'clock. They would be on the table 7 o'clock. And this is the kind of woman she was, and whatever we would do would be smoking fish, making dried fish together, even in hunting. She would be along with me, would be out hunting together, and we would work together in everywhere. Whatever we do, I'd even help her with the cooking too. Well, you see, girl, and we got 13 children. Now I got 9 now. There's 4, 4 died. I got 9 children now. And 60 grandchildren. Now she knows how it was, now she knows how it was. Ze maak op het stuiten, ze muitjestuk op het stuiten, we schaak op het stuiten, ze dak op het armes, ze dak op het armes, nou she zei how was, she should have ook maar vannacht go aan huis het gaan, nou she zei niet should have was, well, that's a sweet thing, I would say. You know, a person that is in his right sense knew where he's going. Who's going to miss it? Not one of us, not one of them in the whole world.
Well, hello, Dave. Hi.
You don't need to be scared of that. It's nothing.
play baseball?
Yeah, we should.
The
Nothing.
last time we played?
Oh, yeah.
Down
That
in
was
Clackwood?
down in Clackwood.
Yeah,
You betcha. I
We had a lot of
remember
fun
that
those
day.
times, didn't we, eh?
We sure did have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Long
You're looking
time.
very well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Same with you.
Keeping in good shape. You got me.